Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Sky Sports News, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is expected to stay in charge of Manchester United despite the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Yesterday, the Manchester Evening News said that Manchester United are considering sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager following the humiliation to Liverpool. And Fabrizio Romano did say yesterday that Solskjaer was hours away from the sack. Solskjaer is fighting to save his job at Manchester United. He is aware that he's under so much pressure. And the vast majority, or all Manchester United fans, are Ole out. The players want Solskjaer out because it recently said that the players have lost faith in Solskjaer. Solskjaer's also lost fans. After the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, Solskjaer refused to resign. And Solskjaer said, "I've come too far now to give up." Manchester United are winless in their last 4 league games. Manchester United are sitting 7th in the Premier League after 9 games. Now, I want to give you some news on Antonio Conte. So, Antonio Conte wants the Manchester United job, but the board are not keen. Sky Italy said that Manchester United have made initial contact with Antonio Conte. He said yesterday that Conte has got reservations about the club's structure. But yeah, Conte is the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Conte is available because he left Inter Milan at the end of last season. There's a lot of United fans that are demanding Conte in. I think if Conte got appointed in, he'd get Manchester United back to that level where they should be at, and he would suit the strappings of the club. You know, Conte's got a good pedigree behind him, won a lot of silverware in his home nation, and when he was in his first season at Chelsea, he won the Premier League, so he's managed in the Premier League before. That's beneficial. Earlier on this season, Conte did make it clear that he wants a winning project. So, reflecting on that, he rejected Arsenal and he rejected Tottenham. Not so long ago, Conte rejected the Newcastle job. I'm hearing that Mauricio Pochettino admires Manchester United. We tried to get Pochettino a while ago when he was managerless. But unfortunately we didn't get him because he went to PSG. He's held talks with the club before. There's some United fans that want Zinedine Zidane in. But reports from Spain said yesterday that Zinedine Zidane is not interested in becoming Manchester United manager if Solskjaer gets sacked. Zidane did say that he's enjoying life away from football management. Not so long ago, Erik ten Hag held talks with Man United. You know, when Solskjaer gets sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson. Man United have sacked 3 managers since Ferguson sacked David Moyes after 10 months. David Moyes is probably one of the worst managers we've ever had. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5 years, despite Mourinho winning 3 trophies in his first season. Mourinho also got us a 2nd place finish in his first season. So you can say Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United, but revert back to what I've said before, the reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board. Bad disputes with the top players, and in general the board weren't backing the signings that Mourinho wanted to recommend in. Now, revert back to Solskjaer. I do believe that Solskjaer's had long enough now as Manchester United manager. He's been Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. He's not the long-term manager for Manchester United, but I do adore Solskjaer a lot for what he's done for the club. You know, Ollie's a legend of the club. Solskjaer did enjoy 11 years as a player for Manchester United, and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. And we've enjoyed some good periods under him, obviously, as manager. But I just feel as though that Solskjaer is in a position that he shouldn't be in, and I just feel as though that the expectations are far too high for him to exceed as Manchester United manager. Solskjaer's not capable of winning trophies as Manchester United manager. You know, he's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager, and I did mention at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for him. I can't see Solskjaer getting until the end of this season, but Gary Neville reckons that we'll stick with him until the end of the season. Obviously, if the club decide to sack him, obviously we're going to have to pay him off. Because in the summer, Solskjaer signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and we certainly made a mistake giving him that contract. Solskjaer has no proven pedigree as a manager. Before Man United, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was terrible. He only enjoyed a short tenure with them. He got sacked from Cardiff because Solskjaer got Cardiff relegated. Obviously, that was the first Premier League club he managed. Ollie also managed the Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of the team grow and develop. I've got strong reservations as well about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's decision making. A lot of United fans have got reservations about that because analysing the vast majority of the games Solskjaer's managed at Manchester United, he's been tactically naive. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. The reason he got the job permanently then was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Revert back to what I've said to you before, Solskjaer is out of excuses now. Because Manchester United have got a very, very good squad. It's a title-winning squad, so in reality Manchester United should be winning the Premier League this season. But the problem is, Manchester United are a team of individuals. We're not actually playing as a team. like Neville was talking about earlier on this season, you've got the likes of Liverpool, City and Chelsea that all play as a team. That's why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at this moment in time. I think our squad must be worth around 805 million. Manchester United also enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year, spent around 141 million. Brought 4 players in, brought Tom Eaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and Manchester United re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. And Solskjaer received strong backing in the summer transfer window. John Murtough backed him. John Murtough is our director of football. During the international break, Murtough said that we need to keep control and will not deviate from the plan. Darren Fletcher also backed him. Ed Woodward has also backed Solskjaer. And the Glazers backed Solskjaer, but only because they'd been persuaded to. Because as you all know, towards the end of last season, the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. And reflecting on that, there was Man United fans protesting against the Glazers, but Solskjaer did reveal that the Glazers apologised. Towards the end of last season, it said the Glazers could have been forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. The Glazers have been at Manchester United for 16 years. They purchased the club for 500 million back in 2005. So there you go. And there is positives regarding Solskjaer, like I've mentioned before. There's not all negatives regarding him. One positive regarding Solskjaer is he's good at developing the youth. I think in certain aspects as Man United manager he's brought consistency back. Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. He's signed 14 players so far in total, and Man United have spent over 400 million under the Solskjaer era. So that just shows you that we should be doing much better than we are with the money we've spent under him. In the summer of 2019, Ollie recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January 2020, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odin Igalo in on loan. In the summer of 2020, he brought Edison Cavani in, Alex Telles, Donny van der Beek, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo. Got 4 of those players on deadline day in the summer of 2020, and in this year's summer transfer window, brought Tom Eaton in, Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane and re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Another positive, Ole has got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, which he knew he had to do. A lot of the deadwood has gone. There's still some deadwood at the club. So the players Ollie loaned out in this year's summer transfer window, he loaned Brandon Williams out, he loaned Ethan Laird out, Axel Tuanzebe, Andres Pereira, Tahith Chon and Facundo Pellistri. The players Ollie's got rid of permanently, he obviously offloaded Daniel James in the summer transfer window. He was the only player Man United sold in this year's summer transfer window, so that was disappointing from a Man United perspective. Ole also offloaded James Wilson and Borthwick Jackson. He also released Sergio Romero and Joel Pereira. In January, Ole offloaded Igalo, Fossa Mensah and Rojo. Ole's offloaded players like Ashley Young, Valencia and Smalling. That trio were long-serving players at the club. He also offloaded Darmian, offloaded Fellaini back in January 2019. Also offloaded Angel Gomez, Herrera, Lukaku and Sanchez. And I'm expecting Manchester United to offload quite a lot of players next year. You can say that some progress has been made under Solskjaer. Because Solskjaer has got us to semi-finals. He got us to 3 semi-finals in his first full season. Last season he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Last season he got us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was Solskjaer's first major final as Man United manager, but fortunately we didn't win it. So there you go, and last season got us a second place finish, and in his first full season got us a third place finish, and don't forget, Manchester United went 29 games unbeaten away from home in the Premier League. Obviously, Leicester ended our unbeaten away run in the Premier League the other week. Like I've said to you though, we've been far superior away from home than we have been at home. But Ole Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. And he knew he had a lot to do when he came in. You know, Ole's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest. No one is going to replicate what Ferguson did at Manchester United. Not in my lifetime anyway. Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Fergie didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Fergie was a very long-serving manager at Man United. He enjoyed a 27-year tenure. Obviously, Ferguson looked absolutely distraught in Manchester United's 5-0 loss to Liverpool. But it has gone wrong since Ferguson retired, and a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired. But there's good players in our team. You've obviously got the best player in the world in Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, best player in the world overall, but at this moment in time I'd say it's Mohamed Salah. Ronaldo obviously played in that 5-0 loss to Liverpool. Ronaldo was lucky not to be sent off for that kick on Curtis Jones. Obviously Ronaldo was very frustrated. Ronaldo did have a goal disallowed in the game. The goal actually should have stood, but it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. Obviously, Ronaldo saved Manchester United against Atalanta. Scored the winning goal. It was a very good header, to be fair. Ronaldo also saved Manchester United against Villarreal earlier on in the season. Ronaldo played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester the other week. For the vast majority of that game, he looked anonymous. Ronaldo tried to storm off the pitch in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester, but Solskjaer stopped him. Prior to that game, Ronaldo informed Solskjaer that he wants to play in every single league game after he was left on the bench in the draw with Everton before the international break. Don't forget, Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month for September. Ronaldo has scored 6 goals in all competitions so far since he re-signed. We got him for 19.8 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year. The way things are going at the moment, I can't see Ronaldo seeing out his contract. But earlier on this season, he's hinted that he's looking to stay at Man United beyond his current contract. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. Ronaldo has won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. You've got Mason Greenwood, that's also good. Greenwood played in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool at the weekend. I thought he was our best player. I thought he looked threatening when he had the ball. He actually had a good chance in the game, produced a good save from Allinson. That was the only save Allinson had to make the whole game. Greenwood obviously played against Atalanta. He weren't too good in that one, didn't really create any opportunities. And he scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. Greenwood scored 4 goals in the Premier League so far this season. At one point though, Greenwood went a while without scoring, but despite that, Greenwood's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. He made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. You've got Marcus Rashford, that's also a good player as well. Obviously Rashford played in that 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. I thought he was very poor in that game though. Don't forget Rashford played that horrendous back pass to Salah. We was lucky that Salah didn't score that. He hit it from a tight angle, De Gea kept him out. Rashford did have a chance early on, but it went wide. But in the 2 games prior to Liverpool won, Rashford did well because he scored against Atalanta and he also scored on his comeback in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. After that game against Leicester, Rashford's camp were unhappy with Solskjaer because Solskjaer told Rashford to prioritise his football instead of his off-pitch activities. Don't forget Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point Rashford had to have an operation on his shoulder. Yes, we need to keep Rashford on that left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. Been part of the club for a long time though. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Rashford's got a contract with Man United till 2023. You've got Cavani, that's good. Cavani didn't start against Liverpool, but he did come on. He actually had a good chance. He hit the woodwork, so he should have scored. I think Cavani will be leaving Manchester United next year. I can't say I want him to leave, though, with the impact he's made since he's come in. Cavani's got under a year left on his Man United contract. Back in May, Cavani signed a 1-year contract extension, and Cavani receives over £200,000 a week. Earlier on this season, it said Real Madrid want Cavani in January. And I presume Barcelona could reignite their interest because Barcelona tried to get Cavani on deadline day. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him, won a lot of silverware when he was at PSG, and Cavani was also a long-serving player when he was at PSG, and Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. Jadon Sancho is a good player, but he has endured a very poor start to his Manchester United career. And obviously fans have started to get on Jadon Sancho's back for that. But I think Solskjaer's to blame as well. Because when Solskjaer plays Sancho, he plays him out of position. He persistently puts him on that left wing. Yes, he can play on the left wing, but he's far superior on the right wing because the right wing is Sancho's predominant position. You can also play Sancho centrally. But there's some games he doesn't even play Sancho. Like I said to you earlier on this season, it does take some players time to settle in. And I said Sancho will do well at Man United, providing that he's used correctly. Earlier on this season, Borussia Dortmund's CEO warned Man United about the Jadon Sancho problem. He said Jadon Sancho's lack of game time at Man United is hurting my soul. We got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. Sancho's under contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. You got Bruno Fernandes. That's also a very, very good player. You know, Fernandes played in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Fernandes should have scored early on in that game. He had the chance. He skied it. He could have done so much better. But apart from that, didn't really do much. Before the Liverpool game, Fernandes was a shock injury doubt. Fernandes got 2 assists against Atalanta. He also got an assist for Mason Greenwood's goal against Leicester. So Fernandes is good at creating chances and he's good at scoring goals. He's been consistent in a lot of games for Man United, but on the other side of things, there's been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. He starts every game, doesn't he, mostly? Or should I say, starts the vast majority of our games. Fernandes has been at Manchester United for almost 2 years. Last season, Fernandes won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on this season, Fernandes made it clear to Man United that he wants to stay. But when he came in, Fernandes, he said he's come to win trophies. Earlier on this season, it said Fernandes was close to signing a new 5-year contract with Man United worth £250,000 a week with the signing of Ronaldo. But like I've said before, Fernandes is one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Paul Pogba. He's also a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Pogba actually wants Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked. Don't forget, after the 4-2 defeat to Leicester the other week, Paul Pogba came out and said that something needs to change at Manchester United. So reflecting on that, he's demanding the manager out. But I think Pogba has enjoyed a good start to the Premier League season so far. Pogba's got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while and Pogba sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Man United. Don't forget, Andy Mitten from The Athletic said earlier on this season that Man United offered Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Manchester United. That would see Pogba become the second highest earner at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives around £290,000 a week. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a Man United contract offer. Earlier on this season, it said Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. But earlier on this season, Pogba came out and said that he wants to stay at Man United, and Paul Scholes backed Pogba to stay. You've got Donny van de Beek, that's also a good player, but I haven't really had much of a perception on him at Man United because Van de Beek doesn't get given enough game time. And revert back to what I've said before, Solskjaer should be starting Van de Beek, especially in the Premier League. You know, Van de Beek played no part in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Prior to the game against Liverpool, Solskjaer did admit that Van de Beek's frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. I don't think Solskjaer wants Van de Beek there. if he did, he'd play him on a regular basis. I can't understand how Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. And, you've got Luke Shaw, that's also a very, very good left back. But Luke Shaw's been poor this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season, Luke Shaw was absolutely superb, and he was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. I'm sure as the season goes on, he'll regain his form. Shaw was absolutely abysmal against Liverpool. I think he was accountable for, 2 or 3 of Liverpool's goals. Alex Telles is a good player, but Telles doesn't really get in the team, does he? Telles will only play if Luke Shaw's injured. Obviously, we brought Telles in to provide competition for Shaw. And Telles was actually out with injury earlier on this season. You've got Raphael Varane, that's a good centre-half, but obviously Varane's out with a groin injury for a few weeks. Big miss for Man United, Varane. Maguire is good when he wants to be, but I think Maguire has been abysmal so far this season. He was accountable, I think, for 2 of Liverpool's goals at the weekend. Maguire scored against Atalanta, and he played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. I heavily criticised Solskjaer for playing Maguire against Leicester. He should have never played him. Because Maguire's just come back from a calf injury not so long ago. Maguire got rushed back too soon by Solskjaer. You've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre-half, but he doesn't get in the team, does he? Because of the arrival of Varane in the summer transfer window. Plus, for some reason, Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Bailly. The element of concern about Bailly is injury prone, and towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. And you've got Wan-Bissaka, that's a good right back, but there's aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that's got to improve, but despite that, he's still one of the best right backs we've had since Neville. And you've got De Gea, that's a very good goalkeeper. De Gea's done really well so far this season, and don't forget De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back. And Dean Henderson's also a good goalkeeper, but doesn't get his chances now. He's only been in goal for 1 game this season. That was the cup game against West Ham. But don't forget, Henderson was out with COVID for a while. Henderson wants a loan move away from Man United next year. So yeah, it's a good team. It needs to start playing as a team though, doesn't it? That's the problem. So anyway guys, there'll be more videos coming up soon. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.